Do you have a calling? It's a question I've asked quite a few people, and it's surprising people have not really thought about this quite often. But quite often people will come back to me after a few days and be very clear that they do feel they have a calling. And not necessarily people who are very spiritual or religious, but actually I wonder if people do generally feel in later life that they do have a calling, they have something to share, a message to bring, or a task to fulfill. But what's difficult is knowing what the calling is. So just having that sense that you have a calling isn't really enough if you don't know what it is. Of course, some people are really clear and know exactly what it is that they want to do with their lives. But if, like me, you've struggled to pinpoint an exact path or an exact focus, it can be quite frustrating. I feel like the journey is part of the calling. So if you're following a spiritual path, if you've done a lot of healing work, that can definitely be part of the calling. And as we're doing that, we're learning skills. We're learning how to heal ourselves, which we can apply to other people. We're learning maybe shadow work, maybe a healing modality, maybe dream work. As in my case, I've worked with a lot of dreams, and that's something that we can help other people with then. If I hear somebody else's dream, it's quite easy for me to listen and to notice the symbols and to give a possible interpretation. Other people who've done physical healing have probably gained a lot of knowledge on the way that they can share, and maybe that is the calling to be a healer. But I think the temptation is also there to assume that we're here to heal and to take up a position as a healer, and that's not always the case. Maybe because as we do our healing work, we interact with healers, we go to healers for help, we do research maybe on different healing modalities, we try them out. I've definitely gone through a period where I felt like I was destined to be a healer, but somehow that didn't completely resonate with me. I trained as a counsellor, but have not fully practiced as a counsellor. I've trained in energy therapies, I've trained in spiritual, I've done some training in mediumship, but none of these things quite felt like my calling. And I'm still working out what that is and working on understanding where this is taking me. So the next challenge for me, I think, is to let go of some things which have been holding me back. I'm still living my life in a way that I was before I started my healing journey, which has been good. It's been very grounding. Sometimes if you do a corporate job, if you have a 9-to-5 job, a Monday to Friday routine, it can actually be very grounding and very helpful whilst you're going through that unsettling period of healing, balancing, and working out what the hell is going on. But when that period comes to a close, when you start to feel that maybe you've done your healing work, maybe it's time for the next chapter in your life, there's also got to be a change. We need to be willing to let go of the routine things, the things that felt safe, that have kept us safe, in order to embrace something new. This can be very unsettling because it's all about safety. It's about the root chakra, which is our foundation, how we get an income, how we pay our bills, where we live, all those really fundamental questions about our foundation, which are needed in order to build on and to evolve. But if we're not willing to let go of those routine and safe things, we're not going to enter the next chapter. We didn't come this far to stay the same. So at some point, there's going to have to be a risk taken in order to fully step into the next phase. I think this is a lot about faith as well. It's about trusting that the universe has our back, that the divine has a plan for us, that we can embrace that plan when we make our lives available and ready and willing to be used in whatever way the divine wants to use us. And there needs to be discernment here in terms of working out what is right, what is wrong, what feels good, what isn't us, what is us. And I think for me, the healing process has really brought that for me, that ability to discern between something which is for me and something which isn't for me. It's more than a gut feeling. It's more like an energetic draw towards something or away from something, and knowing when my body is saying yes and when my body is saying no, and trusting the body to lead me in the right direction. So I'm entering this phase now where I'm letting go. I've done a lot of letting go, but I've still held on to a few things that keep me safe. And I'm just contemplating now if it's the right time to let go of some of these foundational things, my job, my income, my career, my identity that's tied up in that, and move into the next phase. So if this resonates with you, if it's something that you have been pondering or something that you've done recently, I'd be really, really interested to hear your comments and hear about how that's been for you. And maybe if you have stepped into the unknown and had some surprising results. I do think we're constrained by our imagination, by our experience, by the energetic patterns that we have, even things like working 9 to 5. There's a pattern to that. And if we've done that for many, many years, it's very hard to break out of that. And there's going to be resistance to it. So yeah, if you've done that and broken through and have a story to share, I'd be very interested to hear. And don't forget to like and subscribe.